And they're gonna go into everyone's houses and just kill what they up. Oh! Well, now I'm conflicted. He did save our life. Oh! Yeah? Yo, I'm gonna go buy a lottery ticket. Never in my years did I think this was gonna happen. What a fucking G. Prior to this episode, if I would have been told this happened, I would have been so mad. How dare he die for this kid? And now I'm kind of... Let's just call a spade a spade. I fucked up. I'm man enough to admit that I was majorly wrong about Nippon Sangoku. I've been watching it every week over on Patreon. Of course, the full length's over there. But I haven't talked about this one in a hot minute on YouTube. And for those who haven't been paying attention over on Patreon, I've hated this kid. And before I get the, it's a child, you can't. That's so rude, insulting a child. Fuck off, okay? The kid has been a fucking little prick. Him and his dad have pissed me off. They are, up until this episode, the embodiment of evil, ignorance, and selfishness. And I will admit, and the only reason I'm taking this back is because of development. Had the development not happened, I would have still hoped this. And if that makes you hate me, so be it. The massacre that was happening in this episode, the betrayal, after we have one of the coolest characters try to convince this child, do not cross this bridge, do not go in there, it is a trap, our forces will die. And he says, fuck you, my dad's powerful. That's literally his energy. What ends up happening? Everyone gets fucking slaughtered. But instead of this child staying as he is, which, to be honest, up until this moment, I was hoping they were gonna stab him in the bath. As I said, you can hate me if you want, but had it not been for him here, my boy would have died. My boy, who, keep in mind, was roped up because of this kid, was kicking people so hard they go into cardiac arrest, right? Out of all options, had you told me prior to this episode releasing that I was going to get up here and say, not only would I have been okay if my boy here, my number one best boy, was to die protecting this kid, or was going to nearly die protecting the kid, I would have said, what the fuck happened to this show? That kid is a piece of shit. Like, there are just some people who are evil, and that kid was one of them. Because you have to understand, if you're not watching this show, this kid was borderline becoming Joffrey Baratheon from Game of Thrones. Now, he wasn't that bad, but I saw the potential in a few years of him getting that bad. He was selfish, and his dad is the biggest little bitch known to man. And somehow, we are in the week of people taking responsibility, whether it's Tensura and the prince in that show saying, I fucked up, I'll take my lumps, or it's this kid. The way characters are being like, I was wrong. What makes it crazier is, I don't know how old he actually is, but I'm going to say he's like 8 to 10 years old. And the fact that he's able to look at a man who he's like, fuck you, my dad's powerful, I'm going to have, like, he literally boldly said, if you talk back to me, I'm going to have you killed, only to end up saving this man's life and having him nearly want to sacrifice his own life for him. Like, if you're not watching Nippon Sangoku, I don't know what you're doing, because this is like anime of the season, anime of the year quality. The development that he underwent, and the fact that on one hand it feels like it comes from thin air, but on the other hand it makes total sense. He fully believed what his father told him. His father was like, do what you're gonna do, you do no wrong, I want you to do this. Essentially, his dad used him for a very shitty situation. And I'm pretty sure his dad simply wants everything to fall apart so the current emperor will get blamed and he can rise to the throne officially rather than manipulating the emperor. And he's okay using his son as a scapegoat need be. But the fact that as soon as everything falls, the dominoes shatter, he sees all of the death and destruction that happened because of his order. The fact that he has to live with the regret that his men gave up their life so he could escape. The man who he thought was this asshole who, how dare he talk back to me? I am the son of a powerful man. I am in charge. I do no wrong, and immediately realized he was right this whole time. He realized in this moment, I'm probably going to get scolded. Hell, he might backhand me here. Hell, he might even take that sword and strike me down, but I might deserve it in this moment. And what did he do instead? We got some, like, fucking God of War shit going on. We got Kratos' daddy saying, you know what? Yo dad's a piece of shit, but I'm yo daddy now. And it makes total sense, too, because in this episode, like, prior to the whole massacre happening, he talks to one of the people who was, like, helping him get into a change of clothes because, obviously, prisoner of war, and talks about how he's on his 4th child who was just born. The guy's a father at heart. And kids are innocent, right? Not to say this kid didn't get a lot of people killed, but at the end of the day, can we directly blame him? No, because his father put all this bullshit in his head. And with proper guidance, he could be a very effective person. And that's what has me so interested, because they, for a moment, made me think he was going to die, because we turn a corner, we get shot up, and he's crawling over his body here. All these gunshots go off. Thankfully, some other men had some proper intelligence, because they're like, hey, we knew some shit was going to go wrong. It's wild. I honestly think this is the most wrong I've been in a long time watching anime. I fully hated this. And once again, I don't give a fuck if you think that's too much. It's a child. One, it's a fake child. Two, the child was doing nefariously evil shit, believing he could take a shit and it was solid gold. But the fact that as soon as shit hit the fan, he took ownership. He didn't immediately deflect by saying, well, my dad, told me it was okay to do it. Immediately, he's like, I got people killed. I have to live with that. I'm shook by this. And immediately he's like, if I live, I need to have a conversation with Pops. And he's like, you know what? Let's go have that conversation, because yeah, that ain't right. This show's writing is fucking incredible. The back and forth of not knowing who you want to live, who you want to die, which side is truly the one you want to fight. But the way they can take the most vile characters at face value and add such depth in a realistic way, because I don't think people are gonna really comprehend and give the credit I think it deserves, because every action he had post, oh my god, the world just went up in flames, there's so many rooms for errors that could have made the dynamic feel, oh, it's a little forced, it's a little ham-fisted. No. Now, I don't believe you could do the same development for his father. His father's actually evil, right? Like, absolute scumbag. But now I'm starting to question other characters who might rile me up and the type of development they could have. And if not, this dynamic's incredible. My one hope is that this show is going to do Golden Kamuy numbers in Japan. And for those who don't know, Golden Kamuy may not have received a lot of buzz outside of Japan, but there's a reason that show is getting a full adaptation, because Japan fucks with it. And I'm really hoping Nippon Sangoku is basically going to get the same success, because this show deserves a full adaptation. Now, I know the manga, I'm pretty sure, is ongoing. I think it's only supposed to be a 1-core 2. This should be a 2-core minimum, but I hope we get to see this for a long time to come. Of course, like with every anime, if this lasted, say, 8 seasons, viewership is just going to go down and down and down, and we'll be left with both of us watching by season 8. But this show is actually fucking incredible, and you need to check this out if you haven't already. One of my favorite episodes of this entire year, no joke. You've been keeping up with Nippon Sangoku. What did you think? And let me know down below. Drop a like, share your support, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course Patreon. We do have the full links to every single episode over there. We do it weekly. YouTube just wasn't really fucking with it, but you can let me know if there is still demand for YouTube. Maybe we'll keep it going. Who knows? But of course, Patreon full live reactions over there and other exclusives, because I got to give those video shoutouts too, because my patrons make it all possible over here on YouTube. Alright, so today we got Gutter Snipe, Troy, Rikamatsu, Jeffo369, Game Senpai, Isilsa Cyril, Michael Meadows, Sleepfish, Wayne Delquist, Marco Son, and we also have Huron12, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.